50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
Hey everybody, so Russian Grand Prix. Yeah, sorry about that intro. I don't really know what happened there. I suspect this will probably get taken down. Anyway, wasn't the most absorbing race. I was rushing to leave my seat after watching it. I had such a low expectation though that I wasn't all that disappointed really. I don't know if anyone was expecting that they'd be putting on a good show. Nevertheless, I'm Vladimir to talk about it. Wow, I think that's a record for puns per second. Anyway, I'm going to get that out of the way. First thing I'm going to do is rate this race. I am going to give it 5 interventions with thermal scope off of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. To hark back to the intro, which you just saw with your eyes. Also, I am going to go and get a rating off someone else. This is a risky strategy because I imagine they will all be busy, but I'm going to go and try and jump on a video editor and get their take on the race. So, Dwayne, how would you rate that race?
On a scale of what to what?
It doesn't need to be a denominator, it's a How many Daniel Kvyats would you give the race?
2 torpedoes.
2 torpedoes, you heard it here first. First thing really, there's one big grey elephant, or one big silver elephant in the room, and that is of course the old Silver Arrows and their team orders. Can I blame them? Absolutely not. I would be surprised if anyone thought Ferrari would do anything different if they were in that situation, so difficult to blame Mercedes. Ultimately, they were probably going to finish 1 and 2 anyway, and they need to back a horse at some point, and Hamilton is many more points ahead of Sebastian Vettel than Valtteri Bottas, who is not mathematically out of the championship, but realistically probably I think you have to say he is. So yeah, I really cannot blame Mercedes for what they did. Obviously it isn't very entertaining to watch. I said this to someone the other day, that is not Mercedes' consideration. They are doing all they can to maximise their points and ultimately just destroy their rivals. Yeah, and that's what they did. Vettel never really factored into the race. Obviously he came out ahead of Lewis at the pit stop, but very quickly got overtaken again. So tyres were kind of a big thing in that race, especially for Max Verstappen, who had a blinding race, got up to, well, quite far up in the points, and then had to settle for 5th ultimately. He looked like he was going quicker on the soft tyre than the ultra soft, which is not really how it's supposed to work, one would think, but the soft was clearly just the race tyre, and the others were good for maybe 1 or 2 laps. Interesting to see that they put him on the ultra and not the hyper. If it was up to me, that's what I'd do, but I guess that's why I write about F1 rather than make decisions in it and, you know, run a team. But yeah, 10 laps on the ultras at the end. Still pretty impressive considering he started stone dead last with about 500,000 penalty grid drop places. So props to him. Very nice to see his progress through the field. On his birthday he must have been fired up. Thought it was his day, so good drive from Max. Great drive from Leclerc as well. They did well with the strategy also, maximising that 6th in quali to be 7th in the race, so no slouch there whatsoever. Very good omen for Ferrari next year. Well, that escalated quickly. Toro Rosso, no idea what happened there. Both cars had some sort of weird rear axle issue by the looks of things. Don't know if it's related to upgraded Honda, but if it is, then clearly that hasn't worked very well. So no points for either of those guys, and Pretty ghastly business that was. Going to be Charles Leclerc cheerleader once again. The boy done good. 7th place, best of the rest. And a pretty smashing overtake on Kevin Magnussen actually around the super fast turn 3/4/5. So, yeah, an excellent performance after his Ferrari announcement. Tagged onto the back of his pretty impressive Singapore weekend. So, kids going places. Renault did not factor in the race whatsoever. They had basically no pace all weekend, which is really weird to see. Honda was saying they think that maybe now they're ahead of Renault. We don't know because the Toro Rossos didn't finish more than 6 laps. So, hard one to read, but Renault ultimately, yeah, they have title challenge aspirations in sort of a couple of years' time. They've got Danny Rick on their books for next year, and yeah, maybe it's just a bogey track, who knows, but either way, not a good weekend for them. The next race, Japan, should be... The heart says it's going to be great, the head says no one's going to be able to follow anyone, and no one will overtake, so hopefully it's the former, could be the latter. I'm going to cross my fingers and just hope for the best. You should too.